Okay, confused about your personal finances? Watch this. All right, we're definitely going to get into this one, but before I do, go ahead, if you find my content valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and hit that notification bell. By doing those things, we have the possibility of having this information go out to more people who may need it. So I would certainly appreciate that. Okay, confused about your personal finances? Watch this video. What I'm going to do in this video is hopefully very short video here, talk to you about what do you do if you're totally confused. Here lately I was talking to some of my co-workers and they're just completely confused. I often talk about starting with a $2,000 emergency fund and something like a high yield savings account. Often they don't have any idea what a high yield savings account is, let alone understanding a 401k, Roth IRA, knowing what a money market account is as an alternative to a high yield savings account. Just all of these different financial products, and they get to the point of, oh, what do I do? All of this is so confusing. There's so many different things out here. How do I step through things? What do I attack first? Do I attack my debts first? When do I start investing? What do I invest in? Even with the 401k, what is the company match? How does it work? All of these different things are very, very confusing. And I'm afraid that what happens, I look at it right now, I'm sitting on this bench right now. There's a bench right here. I'm right across from the library. And in fact, I was just looking for some books. I resell used books on Amazon. And I look for books at libraries, estate sales, thrift shops, and things like that. And I just happened to be at the library. And I like to shoot videos here. There's a nice lake here that works with the water treatment plant that's close here. And then the library is just right over here. But as I talk to coworkers and they're asking me questions or they watch these videos, some don't watch the videos all the way to the end, so they don't get all of the information. And even if they did, it can be confusing, especially when you don't know a whole bunch about a topic. So what do? How do you kind of get control of these things? Well, I think the best advice is to get a roadmap, get a step-by-step system that you can follow. Kind of become an apprentice of someone or some system or step-by-step way of approaching things first. That way you have a map. You have something that you're following where you're not in this state of confusion of knowing what to do first and next. I remember 25 years ago, or approximately 25 years ago, I first read a book. This book is by Dave Ramsey. It's a popular book in the personal finance world, The Total Money Makeover. And I was thinking about why the Total Money Makeover was so impactful for me. And I figured out that the reason that it was so impactful is because it gave me a step-by-step roadmap so that I could follow that and I could literally, or at least in my mind rather, get off of the bench as far as just sitting there on my personal finances. That book was able to get me to get up and start taking the initial steps that I needed to move my finances from where they were, which was broke and bankrupt, to taking some steps to move towards, Dave Ramsey is real big on debt freedom, and ultimately to move to financial freedom. But I needed a roadmap to be able to do that. What I think about as I talk about this is, when I'm taking a trip or I'm going somewhere, there's several different roads that I could take, or several different routes that I could take to get to the destination that I want to get to. The cool thing is that all of the different routes will lead me to that destination. When you use GPS, GPS might give you a certain route, but that's not the only route. But it's good if you have some route, some way to get there. I think about weight loss programs. Like out there, there's different weight loss programs. There's weight loss programs where you have pre-made meals. There's weight loss programs, rather, where you may have a system where you utilize shakes. Maybe you would take 2 shakes a day and then have 1 good meal per day. Maybe to get in good shape and to lose some weight, you actually eat fruits and vegetables and maybe some lean protein and walk every day, or at least 3 times a week. All 3 of these different ways to get healthy and to lose weight would work. But the main thing is to get off of the bench, so to speak, like I'm sitting here at a bench, get off the bench in your mind, get up and start taking steps. Well, you need some sort of system. You need something to get you going. And with your personal finances, like I was giving the example of what I did, where I read Dave Ramsey's book. And by the way, to digress a little bit, what I like about books is, rather than even online, even though I think YouTube videos and that are great, but getting with a book, it causes you to have something physical to where you're not online, where you can click on something and get distracted and get pulled down a rabbit hole. And by the way, the internet and all of that is so good at tapping into your endorphins and getting you to separate from the money in your wallet. So reading an actual book creates that barrier where you're just taking in information and you're not being advertised to, you aren't being sold anything, you're just learning information. So I really like books. So I started with that myself, Dave Ramsey's book, but you want to get a step-by-step system. And what I'm going to try to do on this channel in the future is to really give you step-by-step what I'm doing. I think the value of this particular channel is I'm not selling you anything. If you'll notice and go down in my description, the only thing I have is the website for TKOmovement.com, the organization that I work with that works with anti-bullying, diversity, and inclusion. And that is the only thing that I have on the website. And the reason that I do that is that I don't want to sell to you. I don't want you to be burdened with, if you will, being marketed to you. I want you to be able to take in the information and to take steps that will take you from where you're at to where you want to go without having an ulterior motive. I think about parents. Often, especially teenagers, don't value the information coming from their parents because they don't understand how awesome that information is. Why is it so great? Because they have no ulterior motive but to help that teenager get the most that they can out of life, that they have great forward momentum. They're not trying to get their money or anything like that. There's no ulterior motive for that parent. All that parent is trying to do is to help that child do the best that they possibly can in life. And that's what I want this channel to be. I want this channel to be a place that you're able to go to and you're safe. You're not being marketed to. I'm not trying to get into your wallet, your pocket, and to take any money from you or anything else. It's just good information from you where what I'm hopefully able to do is to ignite your critical thinking and to get you to think and move things along as far as your finances are concerned. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Teach you step by step what I did. By the way, why is that content going to be valuable? Because I've been able to do some things. One, I've been able to come to the point to where I'm completely debt-free. 23% of people are completely debt-free. And on that journey, I've also been working on becoming financially free, where my assets pay for my lifestyle. So those two things, I've come to the point to where I'm completely debt-free, so I have that experience and I can tell you exactly what I did and help to give you a roadmap that you can follow verbatim or that you can utilize as a template to actually ignite your critical thinking and go step by step. So if you're confused financially, tune in to this channel. Actually take these steps that I'm going to be going through step by step in detail of where I've been to give you a roadmap so that you're able to get to the destination of debt freedom and financial freedom. I hope this one helps. Join me in the journey so that you get to the point to where you have debt freedom and financial freedom in your future. Thanks again for listening.